Hey, what's going on, cats? Can you hear me? Can you maniacs hear me all right? Fantastic. All right, we got the fucking 10K live stream going, and holy shit. Took me a little while to get on, but I'm here. How you guys doing out there? You know who it is. Madman here. Yeah, it was no problem starting the stream. I just had a lot of shit to do right up before starting the stream, so I was a little bit late. But that's normal for me. At least doing streaming and anything computer related. This is fucking awesome. Thought I fell down the toilet. Fashionably late. You know, it's funny. My day to day life stuff, anything I've ever had to do, any job that I've ever been at, anything, I've always been on time. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. But with the online stuff, man, there's all those little hiccups and little shit to do before and after and prepping and all this other crap I got to do. So I'm not always on time when it comes to online. No, not drinking PBR tonight. I'm going to blame it on the Miller High Life. So I can't blame it on the PBR tonight. Yeah, who knows, man? 20K. 20K may be coming. You never know. Shit, I never thought I'd get to 10K. Look where I'm at now. 10K subs, 48 views. Give it time, man. Let everybody jump in. We'll see how many we get. Where do you get an automatic switchblade? I actually covered a video on the automatic switchblade that I have. The one that's sitting right here. This one. I already covered a video on it. I got the link in the description, I believe. I think I got the link in the description. I usually do. A lot of fucking links, So you could probably find it there. I don't remember the name of the website that I ordered it off of. How do you get mud out of the grooves of your boots? With well, there's actually a couple things you can use. You can use a screwdriver, you can use a stick, anything you can get in those grooves with, and also take it outside and use a hose on it. So spray it down with if it's still wet, spray it out with your hose. It'll get all the mud out. If it's all dried and caked in and all that kind of shit, then you might want to scrape it with a screwdriver or your stick or whatever. Or even soften it up with some water and then scrape it out and then fucking rinse it off with the hose and the high pressure. Just blow torch the boots. Yeah, there you go. Just blow torch them, set them on fire, throw them the fuck out, right? No, that's what you do when you get dog shit on them. And I'm not telling you guys torch your boots. You get dog shit on them, clean them off. Don't torch them. How have I been? Busy, but good. Hopefully everybody's doing good out there. Let's see, what do we get? Oh, man. Welcome to everybody that are joining at the moment. I don't know. Oh, we got 55 watching now. Holy shit. Numbers are climbing. Does Harley Davidson make cowboy boots? That I do not know. They may. Harley Davidson kind of makes everything. That's the funny thing about Harley anything. You go to the Harley shop, everything's $50. Want a wallet? $50. You want a pair of boots? $50. Actually, no, a lot more than $50. It's like a bare minimum of 50. Any new pomade reviews lined up? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's hard being a greaser while in the military. Hey, thanks for your service, man. I know it's kind of hard, but you're doing a hell of a job. So, focus on that. And, being a greaser is always in here anyway. Once you're out and about, then you can get the hair back and all the stuff they won't let you do while you're on base. You're just watching some of my old videos. Oh my God, some of those are a pisser. Do I have patches yet? No, not yet. Any news on the book? Nothing new. Again, remember, guys, I'm not a writer. I am actually not really into writing. And a lot of it is me sitting down and going through my head and trying to remember the order that things happened in so I can put it down. So I've gotten some chapters written. I think, what was it, like 6, 7 chapters, something like that I've gotten written so far. I mean, and I'm not even out of ninth grade yet. And of course, there's like the whole editing process and stuff that I have to go through as well. So I have to go through after and then figure out what parts really don't need to be in that just kind of, if it's prolonging things too much, I want to keep a good pace. I want to keep a good pace while providing the most detail that I can. It's a process. How's the pomade brand going? It's going, man. It's going. I haven't been talking about it too much lately, but there's stuff in the works, stuff going on behind the scenes, and we're hoping for a nice launch next year. So we'll see. See how everything goes. But it's in the works. There's just other business stuff to get out of the way first, and I need to put my website back up and get all that done. And that's going to be a big process. Uh, What am I wearing in my hair right now? I'm actually wearing a little bit of Murray's Superior along with, get this, I'm using fucking petroleum jelly. Shit you not. A little bit of Murray's Superior and petroleum jelly. How's Rock and Roll Joker's campaign going? You voted already. Fantastic. It's going very, very well. Second place. So there's 5 slots that are open, and she has to be in one of those 5 slots for the final judging that comes from the website. So she's in second place. I also have the link in the bio, the description. If you haven't voted yet, you can go do that if you so choose to. You heard it here first. Take note. Go vote. It does count. Yep, indeed. Fingers crossed. We have the chance to put a grease chick as the face for this company for 2019. To be a hell of a thing. Beer is good, I agree. I hope she wins too. Yeah, I don't do the liquor too much anymore. Used to when I was younger. Used to do a lot of liquor when I was younger. A lot of mixing of shit. I don't do that no more. Getting too old for that. Plus, I can get a bit out of hand when I'm on the liquor. So I like whiskey. I just don't drink much of it anymore. Like I said, I don't drink too much liquor anymore. Used to drink a lot of different stuff. There was really nothing I didn't jive with. You know, I've got an addictive personality, so you know, if it's anything alcohol, I pretty much jive with it. As long as the taste is not so fucking terrible that it just isn't palatable. But pretty much anything, any type of liquor, I've tried and been into. All right, we got a story coming up. Somebody wants an out of hand liquor story, so here we go. There was a club we used to go to called the 300 Club, and it was at a bowling alley. Now, we didn't bowl, but attached to the building is an arcade, and they have pool tables in the back. So we used to like to go out and drink. A bunch of us would get together like on a Friday or a Saturday, and I'm trying to remember who was all there. I think Big Bird was there, High Cuss was there, his girlfriend was there, and like some other friends of ours from school, like a whole bunch of us. It was probably shit, like what? It had to be upwards of 10 to 12 people, I would say. We took a couple tables, we threw them together, and man, the drinks are going. The beers are flowing, the liquor is flowing, fucking High Cuffs is buying me adioses and shit like that, you know, and it's really going. And I remember it was, I think, a couple of weeks before Halloween, and this was like in, what was it, like 2010? I think it was like 2010. I want to say it was about 2010. It was like right before Halloween. And I'm already getting liquored up. And I'm feeling it starting to kick in. And then all of a sudden, you know, I feel like everything's nice. You know, it's warm. I'm just comfortable. I'm relaxing. And the whole night there was this like slutty sailor lady. I mean, she was like, she had to be in her like mid-age, you know, like, I don't know, 40, something like that, 50 something. And she's like dancing around this bar and she's like, and all this weird shit. And out of nowhere, she comes up to me and wants to dance. Now, I'm not much of a dancer. I'm not really into it. You know what I mean? I'm not like real into dancing. And especially back then, it was just more about wanting to drink and just do my shit with my friends. And they're all like, you gotta go, dude, come on, man, get up there, fucking go. So I get up there. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. I'm pretty drunk at this point, so I figure, and all that fucking shit. And then she's wanting to dance and grab on. I'm like, all right. And I'm like fucking trying to like figure out where I'm at and the whole bit. And we're dancing and all this shit. And I'm dancing pretty badly. And my buddies are all over there. They got their fucking phones and they're getting video and pictures of it and shit like that. I still have one picture from that night. And I remember what was weird is I looked over at the table that she had come from, and she was there with her husband and another couple. Now, I think they were swingers. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they were swingers. And this fucking guy, her husband, sat with the biggest grin on his face. He's like, You know, like you could tell that he's like loving watching this. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? And I was pretty drunk. And I ended up just grabbing her ass. Like, I didn't even put my hand on her hip, just grabbed her ass. And I'm just dancing, just for the fuck of it. And the only thing I could do really very, very good was, like, you know, when she wanted to bend back over, I could just, like, use one arm because I was pretty strong. I was lifting weights and stuff at the time. And I remember I just, like, would put her head to the floor, pull her right back up, you know, and they dip backwards and all that shit. And then all that kind of stuff happened. So that was pretty out there. And then after that, we're going to go play pool. I've already had a few more drinks after that, after I had settled back down and everybody got done laughing at how bad my dancing was. So we're settling back down, have a few drinks. Hey, let's go play pool. Okay, let's go play pool. So we go play pool, and in this arcade, the pool tables are in the back. And you've got all these windows, these big fucking glass pane, you know, like windows, and they're open. And LA County sheriffs would patrol this establishment. and they would walk around the perimeter and hang out with the bouncers and security on site because things could actually get pretty out of hand over there. It's a lot of people. It was very, very busy. You know, a lot of people would go in there, gang members and tough guys and all kinds of people. You know, regular family people, bowlers. You know, everybody kind of went in there. And we're playing pool, and I can't play. Like, I'm so drunk at this point. I can't fucking play. I'm trying to steady myself. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, oh, come on. And I'm trying to steady myself to make my shots. And I'm kind of like leaning into the table. I'm like, fuck. My ball is going like, I'm trying to aim it over here. It's going the fuck over there. You know what I mean? Everything's like not lining up right. So I said, fuck it. You know, so I put the fucking pool cue down and I'm watching the sheriffs and they're walking past and I'm like on my best behavior, stood there trying to look normal. As soon as they pass, for some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to do like ninja dives over the table, like jump over the table and like roll. Because I was doing judo and things like that. So I was taking break falls and I would do judo rolls. And I could take, you know, break falls on even concrete, you know, pavement because I learned how to fall properly. So what I was doing is I started just diving over the table in between shots. And everybody's like, what the fuck? All my buddies were like laughing, man. They're like, holy shit. I mean, I'm too drunk to fucking play pool, but I can do fucking break falls over the table. So I'm like diving over this fucking table. And I'd wait for them. They come back around. I'd be like, just nice, like, hi officers, how you doing? How you doing? And there goes the sheriff's. And as soon as their back was turned, I would dive over the table. I didn't want them to see me doing it because they would come in and start fucking hassling me. So anyway, after probably about 4 or 5 fucking dives over the table, I'm like, I gotta go take a piss. Okay. So they're gonna keep playing pool. I'm gonna go take a piss, and I'm supposed to come right back and try to play another round. All right. And then what happens? Now I don't remember if I made it to the bathroom or not, but probably a good hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours went by. And at this point, I don't remember a whole hell of a lot of what happened, but they went looking for me. Where'd he go, man? Where's he at? He hasn't been back yet. You know, they kind of got caught up in their game, so they're like playing, and then they all of a sudden realized I'm not there. So they go looking for me. So you go into the bathroom. Let's go check the bathroom. Not in the bathroom. They check the bar. I'm at the bar. I'm at a table, a small table by myself. There's maybe a handful of people still left in there. They're getting ready to close. I'm sprawled on the table, not asleep, still drinking. I had shots and beers and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like sprawled on the table, knocking glasses over and like, you know, fucking bottles. I'm like, damn, that's good shit. And I'm like just completely out of it. And they're like, okay, dude, man, come on. They're getting ready to close. I'm like, no, we just got here. We just got here. They're like, no, no, no. And they're like picking me up, you know, got the arm around each of my guys, you know, like walking me out of there. I was too drunk to even fucking walk. Had to fucking walk me up to my door, help me get the door open. And yeah, I don't remember going home. I don't remember going in the house. I remember stripping off all my clothes, walking out the backyard and laying on the back cement, like the walkway area, just no clothes on, buck naked, just laying there. I'm like, oh, it feels so nice. The concrete's so warm. It's like a nice warm bed. And I'm just like this. I'm like, no, I need to get up and go to bed. And then I went to bed and woke up and I was hungover and had to get up and go teach a class and had to get straightened out real quick. So yeah, that's one of my crazy drunk stories. One of them. I was always up for something. What do I prefer, 8-ball or 9-ball? 8-ball. Oh yeah, yeah. The busted beer bottles on the blacktop at school. Yep, I remember that. I think I've told that story a few times. Hey, what's up, Derek? Good to see you, brother. I was just telling him the story about the time I got completely shit faced and I was dancing with that freaking weird sailor lady, and then I was doing ninja dives over the pool table. I remember telling you about that story a few times. Or it was I diving over the stalls. Fuck. By the time I got to the bathroom, if I even made it that far, I have no idea. They found me back in the bar. Yeah, when my boys found me, I was like completely sprawled, like on the table, like elbows fucking flared out on the table, looking for fucking where's my shot? There's my shot. Throw it off the fucking table. I mean, I don't know. I just know what I know for sure is what I was told, where I was found, and what I was doing. I don't remember doing it. That's how out of it I was. And that does not happen very often. Like, I never really get myself drunk to the point where I don't remember. I usually always remember what I'm doing. And especially now, I mean, fuck. I mean, I'm not getting any younger. So I need to make sure that I do what I got to do and I stay focused. And, I just can't recover like I used to. That's one thing I'm going to tell you guys. As you get older, your recovery rate just drops. Like I would go out, drink, get fucking hammered, go party, do this, do that. And then I'd be up the next day, go teach class. I'd be hungover, but it wasn't like, debilitating. Now it's just like, man, if I drink too much the night before and I get completely shit faced, oh, fuck. I spend like all day in bed trying to fucking get over it. I'm like, oh, it ain't worth a shit, man. Shit, like when I was, what, 22? No, yeah, 22, 23, 24, I was still fucking killing 30 packs and shit like that. We get like a big fucking case of hams, and I'd be fucking killing them left and right. I can't do it no more. How long was the worst hangover I've ever gotten? Now, this is interesting, and it was DeVito's fault. We went to DeVito's apartment one night, and I think I was like 21, 21, 22, somewhere around there. And we went over to DeVito's apartment. We're all up there drinking, and we got like a bag of different stuff. Like, this is like the time where like the tall boys, like you had like the original Four Locos and all these other like energy slash like high octane beer drinks and all that kind of crap. They had those, and I remember he had this big jug of like the cheapest fucking vodka that you could find. Oh, what's up, Tyson? Tyson's in the house. And we had this big bottle of cheap ass vodka. And, we're trying all these different beers, and I'm drinking on this vodka bottle. We're just passing this big jug around. We're just drinking this, like rotten fucking vodka. I don't even remember the brand, but it was like, if anybody like lives out in the SoCal area, we have Food for Less. Food for Less is owned by Kroger, but that's the store out, in Long Beach where I'm from. That's like the cheap store. So it's where you go if like you're in the ghetto, basically. And it's like this big jug of vodka for like $15 or something like that. It was bad. It was fine. It sufficed. I got drunk and the whole thing. But for 3 days after, I felt fucking weird. I don't know if it was like, I don't know if you could class it as being hungover, but holy fucking shit, man. Like I felt weird. Like I just didn't even feel like me. I didn't even feel like me for 3 days after drinking that shit. I remember telling DeVito, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck's up with that vodka, but I'm pretty sure, because that's pretty much what I had. I had sips of like some of the other stuff, but it was that vodka that I was drinking on the most. I was like, man, that shit still has my head fucked up. Like I was in a fucking haze for like 3 days. Like purple haze kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like everything felt like sometimes I'd be in slow motion. I'd forget what I was thinking about or what I was going to say. It was just really fucking shitty, man. But for 3 days, it had effect on me. There's a Food for Less 2 blocks from you. You live in Hollywood. There you go. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen like some of those big jugs of fucking wine or, cheap vodka in the plastic fucking, jug for like $15 or some shit. Anybody that lives out there knows what I'm talking about. Do I like Eddie Cochran? Of course I like Eddie Cochran. It's good stuff, man. Dude, that shit's gross. Yeah, well, yeah, it is. Well, when you're young and you don't have a lot of money and you just want to get drunk and you want to party and hang out with the boys, man, you drink anything. It's like when you grew up, on the fucking, what do you call it? Fucking King Cobra and Magnums, fucking malt liquor, Colt 45 and Mickey's. When you grew up doing that stuff, man, you'll drink anything. And when you're young, you can. McCormick's vodka, that shit was like rubbing alcohol. Some of that stuff really is like rubbing alcohol. It really fucking is. It's like you smell it, you're like, when you're young, you're just like, fuck it, hey, let's do it. Now you go, no, pass that shit to somebody else. Give it to the youngster in the group. Here, you drink it. You'll like that, trust me. It'll get you where you want to go. Holy shit, man. You've never seen another greaser in person. Check out Southern California, man. They're everywhere out there. Lots of greasers. The rockabilly scene's really big out there. Greaser opinions on surf music, like Dick Dale. Gotta love surf music. I like it, personally. I like, early 60s, surf. Late 50s, early 60s. Marijuana experiences, not for me. I hung out with a lot of people that did smoke pot. Like, I hung out with dealers as well. One of my best friends was a dealer who's dead now, sadly. Not due to pot, but it's just never my thing. I've already got an addictive personality as it is. I don't need a ton of vices, and I just stay away from certain things that, you know what I mean? I stick with my beer and my cigarettes and cigars. I'm happy with it, so I stay with it. Yeah, that's true. That's true, rock and roll joker. Never saw a greaser until you rolled up to Birmingham Airport. That's right. Woo! That had some flavor to it. I liked it. Opinions on bringing knuckles to a fist fight, like brass knuckles. If it's skin on skin, you shouldn't need brass knuckles. But if there's other weapons involved, fuck it, bring what you got. Even up the odds. But if you're going one on one with somebody, bare knuckle, just go one on one with them. There's no need for brass knuckles or a knife or anything. Have I ever fought in a rumble? No. Nope. I knew guys that did. I hung out with guys that did. But me personally, no. I was hanging out with my friends and partying and have a good time. That was what I was into. Even though I hung out, and I say hung out, not in, hung out with actual greaser gangs who did fight for turf and had, actual ongoing beef with other greaser gangs. I never got caught up in the politics, you know what I mean? I never got caught up in rumbling or fighting and all that kind of stuff. I was about having a good time, wanted to go hear music, wanted to hang out with my friends, and just do greaser shit, man. Favorite character from the movie Outsiders. I like that. I like that. I think you already know. I think I've told you. Well, hell, we've hung out a lot, but would be Dallas. Dallas Winston. Dallas is always my favorite character. I always thought Dally had a lot of good stories to tell because he'd done so much at such a young age. He'd been through so much shit already. It was sad that he died, but he died the way he lived. I think each character in The Outsiders represented certain personalities for sure. Dally reminded me a lot more of like what I grew up with, more of the harsher reality of it. It's like growing up, there was a lot of Dallies. Guys that had legitimately been to jail and were fighting in rumbles and got into trouble and did this, did that. A lot of stories, a lot of old stuff, old beef that he carried on throughout the cities and the years. When I was in high school, I would have been more like Pony Boy because I was always more into like doing my art and I was always thinking. Like I would always stop and think about things and kind of like try to figure the world out. And I was always, I wasn't just always like focused on what was in front of me. I was like, I would see what was in front of me, but I was trying to see over here and over here and over there and over there at the same time. So I was a little bit more like Pony Boy in some ways. I grew up with guys like Dallas, basically, that basically kind of like mentored me and brought me along and like showed me like the reality of the world. Yeah, The Wanderers was a good movie. It was a very good movie based on a lot of facts, a lot of stuff. Am I coming back to the UK? I sure as hell hope so. That's the plan. Hell, if they'll let me back in. Does the greaser movement have high level of politics like skinheads or punks? There's really no subculture that doesn't have some kind of politics in it. You know what I mean? We have. It's similar to like what the skins and punks are going through, but it's different at the same time. And it's not like politics as in like government politics. It's like politics within like the communities and circles. There's always been a form of politics in the greaser culture for sure. Favorite car magazine? Old School Rods or Car Culture Deluxe? Sadly, they don't put many of them out anymore. Back when I was in high school, I used to pick one up every month. They used to do a monthly edition. Last time I checked, it was like every 3 months they do an edition. Plus, they got the online thing, so I don't know if they're just dwindling or what's going on. But Car Culture Deluxe and Old School Rods was always a favorite. Two of my favorite mags. I still have a couple. I still actually have pieces of old magazines that I rip stuff out, put them on a wall. Do I like the movie Crybaby? You would like it more if it wasn't such a musical. I like Crybaby. It's kind of a fun movie. Yeah, I know it's a musical, and I'm not really into musicals, but I like Crybaby. I like the actual story of it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty straightforward. It is what it is. It's not. I think it's a little more set in reality than probably Grease is in some ways. Who's my favorite comedian? That's easy. He's dead now, sadly. George Carlin. George Carlin was always my favorite comedian, and I did get to see him live in Long Beach during one of his last tours. And he was fucking brilliant. I love George Carlin. You know, he made so much sense of so many different topics, like things that you think about, but you didn't think about it maybe in the way he did. And he would really break things down to a common denominator, make funny jokes about them. And the way he could rattle off, like when he would start rhyming and he would just start just jiving, man. I was like, fuck. He just da 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 da, and I'd just be sat there going, holy shit, guy's a machine. Even as an old man, he was doing that. I'm like, fuck. What's my opinion on Rebel Without a Cause? I love that fucking movie. Absolutely love that movie. I've ever been to Sacramento? Yes, I have. When I was a kid. Marlon Brando or James Dean, both, for their own reasons. The Buddy Holly story of La Bamba. La Bamba. I like the Buddy Holly story. It's a good movie, but I like La Bamba. I can relate to La Bamba a lot more. Am I a Johnny Cash fan? Fucking hey, I love Johnny Cash. Here's a funny story for you. On my trip to the UK on the plane, I must have watched Walk the Line about 4 or 5 times, there and back, because on the airplane they had a little screen right there on the front of the thing, so you could watch. You could pick movies you wanted to watch, and they had Walk the Line. That was about really the only thing that interested me. So I watched that. I kept putting it on repeat and kept watching Walk the Line. So I probably watched about 4 or 5 times just on the flight there and back. You know. Plus, I saw it when it first came out, so it was a good movie. I always liked it. Johnny Cash is a fucking legend. What do greasers think about Grease with John Travolta? Everybody's going to have their mixed opinions. I'm not a big fan. I like certain parts of Grease, certain elements of the movie, but I'm not a big fan of the whole musical, dancing and parading around. Not really my thing. And I've actually covered this in videos before. My favorite gun, Colt 45, which I own. Yeah, Rock and Roll Joker is not a big fan of Grease either. She doesn't like the musicals. Ah, today's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. Oops. Favorite liquor. Now that's easy. That's not like my only favorite, but I'd say one of my favorites would be Maker's Mark, and I'm also big on Jameson, and then Sailor Jerry. Those are probably my three go-to liquors. I also like Jägermeister too. Back when I was in California, and I used to teach, one of my buddies who was a martial arts instructor as well. I remember he used to always buy me Maker's Mark. He'd get me a nice big bottle with the wax on the thing. He'd always get me the Maker's Mark for like Christmas or my birthday. He knew I liked it. He's like, "Here, man, get you another bottle." Oh shit, great, man. We get done fucking teaching 3 classes together, and he'd pull a fucking bottle out and give it to me, or he'd come back to my pad and we'd work on, curriculum and shit like that. And he's like, "Oh, hey, got something for you." Dig in his gym bag. "Here you go, man." I'm like, "Fucking A, Maker's Mark. We got to get the glasses out. Get the glasses out. Get the shot glasses." Throwing them back. I like Lords of Flatbush as well. I know some are not really into the movie, but I always thought that was. I like. Some people don't like the way the film moves. They're not like really into how the movie functions because it is a B movie. It's a cheap movie. But I think that's kind of what makes it a great movie, is because there is no real specific reason for the movie, just like life. You know what I mean? The way that the story kind of played out is, I think, very similar to how a lot of our lives play out. Sometimes there really is no, beginning, middle, and end, or the climax and then an end, and it's like you feel great or you feel sad afterwards. It just kind of leaves you where it leaves you. Just kind of like life, man. It's like from one era to another era. We did these things in this stretch of time. What was the reason? I don't know, because that was the thing to do. So I felt like it kind of mimicked reality a little bit more. I think that's why people didn't really jive with it all that much, just because it mimicked reality a little too much. A Bronx Tale is a great movie. I love A Bronx Tale. It's a good movie. Yeah, it's Sunny. I always like when little C is outside and he looks at Sonny, and Sonny's got his arm around fucking coffee cake, and he's over there doing this, and he's fucking getting the slap. He's fucking giving him a good bollocking, and then you got fucking little C out there, and he's like watching him. He's just like. You got Sonny doing it. He's mimicking his idol. Yeah, there's a Grease too. Yep. Do I like Jim Beam? 50-50. I'm okay on it. It's not my favorite. It's all right. Favorite comic book characters. Absolute favorite comic book character has always been Wolverine. I mean, I like Spider-Man and Hulk and Captain America. I like all the regular, the ones that I grew up with. Captain America, Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine, the X-Men, Cyclops, Beast, Storm, Psylocke, Professor X, all them. Um, Carnage and Venom is the bad guys. Batman, Superman. I'm not really into all these you know, like beeline comic book characters that everybody's pushing as like the next big thing. I'm not really into that. Never was. But Wolverine was always my favorite. Do I like history? Yes, I love history. That's one of the reasons why I actually like to cover like actual history of like greasers and how things came to be and why things came to be, why they did certain things, why they wore that thing, this kind of a jacket, or why they wore the boots or did this or did that. And it does come out of the World War II era, so I think it's pretty cool. Hey, when I was a kid, man, I always wanted to be Wolverine. I always wish I had fucking claws, that popped out. Let's go, bub. I always loved when he would do that. I love when somebody would just like you see like some little 5'3" fucking French Canadian dude with like the hair and the fucking sideburns and everything like, oh, look at that little guy, little fucking little lumberjack, we fucking shoot him, bang bang bang, he fucking falls down, gets back up, his fucking wounds heal, the bullets fall out, he's let's go, bub. It just fucking tears him apart. I'm like, that's what I like to see. I always wish that I could be like that when I was a kid. But yeah, when I was a kid, man, I grew up watching all the old fucking cartoon series, the X-Men, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, and all that stuff. Fantastic Four, Batman, Superman, Chuck Berry or Elvis. Of course, I like Elvis's stuff, but Chuck Berry, I always really dug his guitar style, man. Favorite rock and roll Christmas songs. I actually covered a video on my favorite rock and roll Christmas songs, but the one that comes to my mind, originally by the Blue Moon Boys, Santa Billy Boogie. You guys might know the Blue Moon Boys by a different name. Well, the lead singer, Nick Roulette, started, um, what is it, Hillbilly Casino, but originally was with the Blue Moon Boys. When I was in high school, he was with the Blue Moon Boys doing his thing. He did Santa Billy Boogie. Always dug the shit out of that song. And then he eventually moved. Oh, fuck, I don't remember where he moved. Where the fuck did Nick move? He moved to... I think he moved to Memphis or something like that, and he ended up starting Hillbilly Casino. And he still covers it. He still does the song. Do I like classical? Not really. Do I like the movie Hell's Angels on Wheels? Is that the one? No, wait a minute. Is that the one with Jack Nicholson? I can't remember because I remember seeing one with Jack Nicholson. I think that was a Jack Nicholson movie. Hey, don't worry. I just fucking got rid of Samantha Barton. Fucking piece of shit. Gone. Ugh. Yeah, I have listened to Rockabilly Radio. It's owned, operated, and run by Tom Ingram. And it was actually very nice to meet him at Viva this year. I enjoyed that very, very much. It's a long story what Samantha Barton does. Basically, it's just a fucking guy who tries to act like a woman is a creep. Nothing to really get into. Do I have a New Year's resolution? Keep working hard, keep doing what I'm doing. Keep my nose to the grindstone. Yeah, well, whether it's fake or not, we don't fucking need this shit, so take off. Do I think there will be a Rockabilly revival in 2020? It's possible. We'll see what happens, man. It's up to each and every cat out there, man, to just do your thing, man. Just be you, do your thing, and you never know, you might inspire somebody. How am I so down to earth? Like one of the realest motherfuckers on here. Experience. I've lived a lot of life. I've done a lot in my 29 years. I've seen a lot of things. I've been through a lot of things. And I've always tried to be a good thinker and think about what I've seen, what I've done, where I've been. And I just try to keep it real basic. You know what I mean? I don't try to overcomplicate things with life. I mean, some things are complicated, but I try to break things down to their least common denominator. And a lot of it just comes down to actual real experience in living. Do I like Gene Vincent? Oh, definitely. Usually, when I cover some kind of a music video, Gene Vincent's always in there somewhere. Thank you on the congratulations on 10K. I appreciate it. Best jacket for real cold weather. I always dig my motorcycle jacket, but I layer up. Since I think you said you're in Sweden or something like that. Yeah, Sweden. And it gets cold there. It gets cold where I'm at too. It snows all the time, lots of blizzards, lots of snow, and all kinds of stuff. I always layer up, man. Always with long underwear, the thermal tops and bottoms, jeans, boots, double up your socks, triple up your socks if you need to. I usually need to triple up the socks when it gets really, really cold. Always layer up, man. Fucking thermal, t-shirt, flannel, and then like a good thick leather jacket always will keep you warm. And gloves. Always put some kind of like leather gloves on. Who is the leader of my greaser group? There really was no leader. It wasn't formed like a gang or a club. It was just a bunch of guys who hung out and had a good time. Oh, it's your brother's birthday? Hey, happy birthday, man. Dion and the Belmonts? I absolutely love Dion and the Belmonts. Yeah, let's not get into any of the politics stuff, man. We're trying to have a good time. Keep it on topic. Have I ever smoked L&Ms? Yes, I have. I remember when way before I started rolling my own cigarettes, I was smoking L&Ms when those were like on my poor week when I was just about to have my next paycheck and I didn't have much money left. I would grab the L&Ms. Lucky Strikes always. I love Lucky Strikes. Expensive though, very expensive. If I had one last meal, what would it be? Probably a cheeseburger. Probably a cheeseburger and fries. I'm a very simple man, as you see. I drink simple beer and I eat simple foods. Yeah, probably a cheeseburger. Do I still hang out with my greaser friends? Whenever I'm in town and I see them, always. It was great catching up with Big Bird when I was at Viva. That was great catching up with him, hanging out. And it was just like old times, man. It's like, the 6 years hadn't made a difference, man. We were like right back into the old thing. Serious question. There is not a rockabilly scene where you are. How would you recommend getting my music out to people who would dig it? That's a tough one, man. If there's really no scene for it, it's kind of tough, man. I don't know, are you a musician or anything like that? I'm not sure if you're a musician or whatever, but um, here's the thing, man. Just be you. Do what you do, man. There's gonna always be people that'll gravitate towards it if they like it, if they see it. They're like, hey, I want to know more about that. There'll be people that gravitate toward it. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're a musician, because you said your music, I'm not sure if you mean like rockabilly music or whatever, but there'll be people that gravitate towards it if you're out there and you're playing and stuff like that. There'll be people to really support you. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's cover that little topic real quick, Rotten Roll Joker. The girl in the competition that's a lead is a professional and it's supposed to be an amateur competition. So any of those that know like about the old tough band competitions, they would always say this is an amateur event, no professionals. And you'd have, this is back before the internet and stuff like that, so you'd have like a professional fighter from the East Coast to go compete in a tough man competition, like on the West Coast. They didn't know he was a professional, they called that a ringer. In that competition, there's a ringer. The one that's in first place, she's a professional pinup model in an amateur competition, and that's not very legit. Everybody else is amateur, and everybody else is trying to do something. So she's essentially fucking somebody out of a spot because it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's five places that you can hold for the judging. So somebody that's in sixth place needs to be in fifth place, but because she's in there. There's this punk rocker kid that you got him into psychobilly music. Yeah, you know, a lot of punks actually do like psychobilly music. I remember some of the punk rockers that I went to high school with, when they heard psychobilly, they're like, hey, that's actually pretty cool, dude. That's pretty fucking, it's pretty badass. They didn't like change over from being a punk or anything, but they always liked it. They thought it was pretty cool. Did I have beef with the jocks? No. Later on in my high school years, man, I didn't really have beef with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I kind of treated people on an individual basis. Like when I first started, there was beef between punks and greasers, and there was beef between greasers and pretty boys. Like they weren't jocks; they were more like your soc types, but for where I lived in, if that makes any sense. Um, no, like that was old beef that the original guys that were at my school, the older guys had started. By the time I was the older guy on campus, we didn't really have beef with anybody. The whole thing is, if you're a good person and you don't act like a shithead, no problems. I had a lot of friends in different places. If I had, if I only had the choice to listen to Stray Cats or Elvis for the rest of my life, which would it be? Probably Stray Cats. I mean, come on. I would probably have to say Stray Cats. Metalheads and punks don't get along because both claim they invented their respective genres. Hmm. Punks and metalheads, when I was in school, they always got along. I mean, they kicked it kind of separately, but they always got along as far as I knew. Sexy and 17 is the shit. Yes, I would agree with you. I like Sexy and 17. It's always been one of my favorite Stray Cats songs. Would I ever come to Ireland? I've been to Ireland. Not stayed in Ireland, but when I was traveling to the UK, I was in Ireland, and it was very nice to actually be on native soil, so to speak. I mean, it's not where I come from. I was born here in America, but it was nice because my family was, originally from County Carlow, Ireland, back in the old times, and then they emigrated. So it was nice to actually step foot on Irish soil, even if it was in the airport. It was in Dublin, but it was still nice. The Pisshead Pub, I love it. The Pisshead Pub. There's a lot of pissheads in there, I'm guessing. Fishnet stockings. Yes, stockings is good. Hey, the live version, when you watch them do it live, man, it's a lot faster. It's not like the original. It's a lot faster. They go a lot harder on the live version, and I actually prefer the live version. Do I have any family still in Ireland? I don't know. I mean, maybe if you tracked it back through what is one of those fucking sites where you can get your blood sample tested and they can track you back and do this, that, and the other. I may have fucking relatives or something from Ireland that live there right now. I don't know. It's possible. If Greasers had to rumble with the Jocks, who do I think would win? I have no idea. It depends on the people in the rumble, really. Would I ever come to Scotland? Sure. I mean, if I could, man, I'd travel a lot of places, and I hope to in the future, especially with all the different rockabilly events going on around the world. Fucking A, man, I'd love to come to different countries and check out the scene and meet people and hang out. I enjoy doing that stuff. Or there's one place I'd like to visit that I haven't yet, Japan. I would actually like to visit Japan. fly? Have I ever seen the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I haven't watched any. I don't know if they have any kind of like stuff on TV about it because I don't watch TV. I know they have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They have a Rockabilly Hall of Fame as well. I don't really keep up with it or anything like that. Any low build-up pomades I'd recommend? Yeah, anything by Locks. Anything by Locks. If anybody from Locks is looking, see, they got the thing here, man. There's a shout out. Yeah, anything by Locks, man. It's good because of the way it's formulated. It is a light buildup, and as you put more, it builds thicker and thicker. But it never gets your hair where it clumps up and it just gets really thick, like when you use like Murray's or something like that, or Dax. So I would always recommend Locks, and it's good for the hair too. Madman, how's it hanging, Hoss? It's hanging, man. We're doing good. We're doing good. How about He's in the Jailhouse Now? Do I like that song? Yes, I do. Very much. He's in the jailhouse now. 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 I told him once or twice to quit playing cards and to shooting dice. He's in the jailhouse now. Old school country, man. Old school country. You gotta love it. Do I dig the Ramones? Of course, I like the Ramones. For all those that watch the videos that and I've talked about it multiple times, I do like punk rock as well. So yeah, the Ramones, yeah, I like Ramones. Oh man. Where are we at on the time? Okay, we're good on time. Black Flag. Yes. Fucking Black Flag. Love Black Flag, man.